Hello everyone! Tonight on Tabletop Commander, Rakdos, Lord of Riots, with some great budget commentary for the budget player. Hello everyone and welcome to another one of my EDH deck techs. Tonight I'm doing the Rakdos Lord of Riots deck. I'm going to be adding some budget commentary to this deck because this is a very easy deck to make if you're on a budget. It's a bit of a glass cannon deck. It's either going to go off or it's not. If you're not familiar with the glass cannon term, it basically means they're just going to either go off spectacularly and wreck everyone, or it's probably going to leave you completely defenseless and you're going to die very, very quickly. But it's probably better to play it one-on-one. So if that's your aim, or if budget is your aim, then this is the deck for you. Alright, so getting right into it, I did build this deck with budget in mind. However, there are a few cards that I already had that are not budget. So I'm going to tell you right now, this deck is basically pingers. Just anything will deal quick 1 damage or 2 damage to an opponent. And very, very large creatures. So, I can tell you right now, I've got Ulamog in this deck, I've got Kozilek in this deck, and they are definitely not budget cards. They're $10 and $20. So, just replace them with any old Eldrazi or any big, nasty beats that you happen to have. Alright, getting right into this. The commander, Rakdos, Lord of Riots. He is 2 black and 2 red to get out, but you have to deal damage to an opponent to get him out. That's why I play the pinger cards. Anything that'll deal damage to my opponent to make them lose life this turn. Once you do that, he comes out and he's a 6/6 flying trample. And creature spells cost 1 colorless mana less for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. Meaning, if you can get a lot of damage off, you can drop your whole hand in 1 turn and run them over. It's as simple as that. So, getting right into it, I have a few artifacts. I have Lightning Greaves to protect and give our commander haste, as well as Swiftfoot Boots for the same purpose. Luxodon Warhammer is good for getting life back, as well as making our big beats even bigger. I play a Jet and Ruby Medallion. These are for getting some of those high-cost items down a little bit, particularly early in the game when you need to get those pingers out. Play a few mana rocks. I have Worn Power Stone, Kolagon Monument, Soul Ring, Darksteel Ingot, Rakdos Key Rune. Also good, you can turn him into a creature for some more beats if you need to. Talisman of Indulgence, Rakdos Clue Stone, Rakdos Signet, Felwar Stone, all with budget in mind. Now, I also play a Chandra Torch of Defiance, definitely not a budget card. This card's, I think, is sitting around $24 right now. So, but this card is not by any means required in this deck. I only put it in here for the 2 damage it can do. So if I can get it out with 4 mana, I can have it deal 2 damage to my opponents so I can get Rakdos out. This is not a required card. You can easily replace it with another creature. Any large, nasty, hard to deal with creature will do, or some extra removal or something along those lines would be great. Or maybe just a shock or a lightning bolt or something like that, just to get that damage out there. Phyrexian Arena for drawing some extra cards. Retreat to Hagra. This one activates on landfall, and it'll make your opponents each lose a life, and you gain 1 life. This is used pretty much for getting that 1 damage, so we can get Rakdos out. Rakdos Charm. A little bit of grave hate, but also it makes creatures deal 1 damage to their controller. So this, again, will help us get Rakdos out. And if there's a lot of creatures in play, this will get our Rakdos damage count up really high so we can drop some really, really nasty things. I play a Terminate and a Dreadbore for some removal. Ambition's Cost for some more draw. as well as Read the Bones. Read the Bones is a fantastic card for 3 mana. You could scry 2, draw 2, and then you lose 2 life, but who cares about the 2 life? Being able to scry 2 and then draw 2, you get those lands off the top of your deck and get to your nasty creatures. Earthquake, good for getting that damage out as well as clearing the board. Chandra's Ignition is a fantastic card. Very, very underrated. It's like $1. And basically you just cast it on one of your really big, nasty creatures and it'll pretty much wipe the board, as well as deal a lot of damage to your opponents. Molten Disaster, again, same as Earthquake, and Subterranean Tremor, same thing. Fiery Confluence for getting that damage out there on your opponents. Capital Punishment for making people discard as well as making them sacrifice. All is Dust, some nice board wipe, inexpensive. Hammerfish Giant for board wipe as well as some big beats. Nettle Drone, Thermo Alchemist, and Labber Crew are good for good pingers to get that 1 damage out there so we can get Rakdos dropped. Solemn Simulacrum for obvious Solemn Simulacrum reasons. And then we just pretty much get into the big creatures of the deck. Pretty much play anything you have, anything that's cheap. I'm sure you probably have tons of leftover Oath of the Gatewatch Eldrazi. Those guys are good. Anything that's big and nasty, really, just throw it in here. That's red or black, or particularly Eldrazi because you can get their cost all the way down to 0, or artifact creatures. I play I play a bunch of those, as you'll see in just a second. Combustible Gearhulk, good for damage, good for draw, good for big beats. Steel Hellkites for clearing the board as well as big beats. Wormcoil Engine, not a budget card, but it's like $15, I think, or something. But you can get its cost all the way down to 0, and it's a really big beast card. Again, if you can't fit this card into your budget, just go ahead and replace it. It's not that hard. Mirror Battlesphere, Hangerback Walker, Bosch Iron Golem, Magma Giant, good for dealing some damage as well as getting some big beats on the board. Skyline Despot, good bulk card. Butcher Malakir, again, another cheapie. Anger, you can replace this with a card called Fervor. It's an enchantment, and this guy's a couple dollars, but I'm pretty sure Fervor is like a 50-cent card. So if you're working the budget angle on this, that's definitely an option. So, Harvester of Souls, good for draw, and it's a good bulk card. Simprotter, a fairly inexpensive card, good for dealing damage as well as getting cards in your hand. Erebos, this guy's like $7, but again, easily replaced. It prevents your opponents from gaining life and also is a way for you to draw more cards. Kothofed, Soul Hoarder, good cheap card. Hamlet Back Goliath, again, good cheap card. Heartless Hidetsugu. I hope I said that right. I don't remember how much this guy is. I don't remember him being expensive. He might have been a bulk guy. But I'll tell you what, he does a lot of damage, and if you can get a Luxodon Warhammer on this guy, you can gain a ton of life off of him, as well as do a lot of damage. Abhorrent Overlord, again, cheap. Nirkana Revenant. The last I checked, this card was like $18 or $20. Again, easily replaced. Easily replaced. In fact, it's just in there because I had it in my binder and I didn't have anything else to do for it. So, there you go. Dream Pillager, big beats. And then we get pretty much into the Eldrazi. Common Eldrazi are good. Uncommon Eldrazi, it doesn't matter. I'd like to use the Eldrazi because of the Annihilator, for one, and two, you can actually get their cost all the way down to 0 and just drop them all at once. Pathrazer of Ulamog, an uncommon. Bane of Balaged, uncommon. Kozilek, He costs a few dollars, but he's easily replaced. Desolation Twin. This is a bulk rare, and he get two of them, so definitely worth it. Ulamog's Crusher, common, big beats though. Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. Again, this guy went up in price because of recent standard banning round, so he kind of went up. Ulamog the Infinite Gyre, whatever the hell that is. Again, costs a little bit, but again, easily replaced. Hand of Emrakul, more big beats. Void Winnower. This card costs a few dollars, but it is absolutely 100% needed in this deck, this particular one, because it is just annoying as hell. And coming down, last two cards, you have Conduit of Ruin, and this guy, uncommon, Breaker of Armies, must have. He's like a quarter or whatever to get. Definitely need this. This will attract all of the blockers to him and let all those bigger, nastier things get through. And that is my video for tonight. So, like and subscribe and leave some comments and have a great day.